Welcome back, 7th grade Richmond Scholars. I am Ms. Whitaker, and I'm excited to have you join me for another math lesson. This is week 6, day 1, and we're going to continue to talk about concepts related to SOL 7.10e. This is also the last week that we will work on SOL 7.10. So let's get started. First, let's review the U-Try questions from the previous lesson. Check your answers. If you answer any of the questions incorrectly, take some time to identify what you did differently. Then correct your answers before moving on. Number 1, you were given a verbal description and you were supposed to represent this relationship using an equation, a table, and a graph. The cheerleaders sell spirit banners for $5 each. The word each represents a slope keyword or a constant rate of change. Okay? Therefore, we're going to use the equation y is equal to mx, where m represents the slope. However, in this question, they want you to use the variables e and b. If you have a problem representing it using the variables they want you to use, first write y is equal to mx, and then substitute y and x for the variables they want you to use. So remember that x represents your independent variable and y represents your dependent variable. So let's think about it. Banners represent your input or your independent variable, and earnings represent your output or your dependent variable. Your earnings your earnings depend upon how many banners you sell. Okay? So therefore, you would substitute B for X and E for Y. And then you would substitute 5 for your slope. So the equation will read E is equal to 5B. You would multiply 5 by the number of banners you sell to figure out how much money you will earn. Now, to create a table that represents the relationship, I started at 1 and went in order. From there, I know my relationship is to multiply by 5. Okay? So if I sold 1 banner, then I will make $5. 1 times 5 is equal to 5. If I sold 2 banners, I will make $10. 2 times 5 is equal to 10. If I sold 3 banners, I will make $15. 3 times 5 is equal to 15, and so on. 4 times 5 is equal to 20, and 5 times 5 is equal to 25. But if you remember from the very first lesson in SOL 7.10, we learned how to find the slope from a table. So to do that, you will find the change in y over the change in x. Okay? So you're going to figure out how your y values are changing. Okay? So from 5 to 10, you will add 5. To go from 10 to 15, add 5. 15 to 20, add 5. So your y values are increasing by 5. Okay? To find the change in x, you will find the change in your x values. Okay? So to go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 5, you will add 1 each time. Okay? So therefore, your change in y is 5, and your change in x is 1. 5 over 1, or 5 divided by 1, is equal to 5, which is equal to your slope. So there are 2 ways to find the slope from a table. Okay, and then lastly, we're going to graph this relationship using the order pairs from our table. So start at the origin and move to plot 1, 5. You're going to start at the origin, move 1 to the right, and up 5. To plot 2, 10, start at the origin, move 2 units to the right, and up 10 units. To plot 3, 15, start at the origin, move 3 units to the right, and up 15 units. Also, we can plot additional points along this line by using our rise over run directions. We said that M is equal to 1 I'm sorry, is equal to 5 over 1. Therefore, 5 represents your change in y, which will give you the direction of going up. Okay? We're going to go towards the positive numbers on the y-axis. Okay? And then 1 represents your change in x, and it is positive. Therefore, we're going to move right towards the positive numbers on the x-axis. Okay? So if you want to go underneath our original point, which was 1, 5, you will go in the opposite direction of your rise over run, which is 5 down, 1 left. So instead of going 5 up, 1 right, we're going to go 5 down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 to the right. And we end up at the origin. And this relationship represents a proportional relationship. Number 2, again, you were given a verbal description and you were supposed to represent that relationship using an equation, a table, and a graph. A music subscription service charges $12 for the month plus $1 per song. So I see 2 keywords here, plus and per. Plus is a y-intercept keyword. It represents an additive relationship. Okay, you're adding something. And then per is a slope keyword. It represents a constant rate of change. Okay, so for every song you are paying $1. And if you don't buy any songs, you will pay $12 for the month for the subscription. Okay, so 12 represents your y-intercept, and 1 will represent your slope. So in the equation, well, or when we write the equation, we're going to use the equation y is equal to x plus b. But in this problem, they want you to use the variables s and c. So in the equation y is equal to x plus b, x is still your independent variable, y is your dependent variable, and b represents your y-intercept. We know that 12 is our y-intercept, so substitute b for 12. Then think about the relationship. S will be your independent variable. That represents the number of songs you're going to buy. And then C is your dependent variable because your cost or the monthly cost is dependent upon how many songs you purchase per month. Okay, so substitute X with S and Y with C. And the equation will be C is equal to S plus 12. To create the table, I started with 0 and went in order. From there, I added 12 to each of my X values because we know our Y-intercept is 12, or our additive relationship between our X and Y values is plus 12. Okay? So 0 plus 12 will give you 12, 1 plus 12 will give you 13, and so on. Okay? To graph this, you will start at the origin and go up to 12. That represents your y-intercept. Okay? And then you're going to continue to graph the points from the table. So to graph 214, start at the origin, move 2 to the right, and up 14 on the y. Sorry. 2 to the right and up 14. Okay? Then 315, start at the origin, move 3 to the right, and up 15. And then 416, Start at the origin, moves 4 to the right, and up 16. Okay. So today we will be reviewing how to make connections between and among representations of a proportional or additive relationship between two quantities using verbal descriptions, tables, equations, and graphs. Materials needed for today's lesson will be a pencil, paper, preferably graph paper because we will be graphing, calculator, and a ruler or a straight edge. Make sure to write all of your notes, guided practice, and you try problems down in your notebook. And if you have access to a printer, you can print out slides 9 through 12 on the PowerPoint and follow along with the video. So the vocabulary words displayed in the video are all the vocabulary words we discussed throughout SOL 7.10. And also, I am displaying the proportional relationship chart versus the additive relationship chart for your reference. So this is the chart we use to compare proportional relationships to additive relationships on Friday. Okay, so we are going to practice making connections among proportional additive relationships. So we're given a verbal description and we are going to represent that relationship using a graph, table, and an equation. Sean has started a small business selling birdhouses. He can build 6 houses in 4 hours. Write an equation to model the relationship between the number of hours Sean has worked, X, and the number of houses, Y, he has built. So first it says that he can build 6 houses in 4 hours. Then it says that the number of hours Sean has worked represents X, and the number of houses represents Y. Okay, so he can build 6 hours in 4. He can build 6 houses in 4 hours. So this is a multiplicative relationship. This is a constant rate of change. Every 4 hours, he can build 6 houses. Okay. Therefore, we can find the slope using the formula change in y over change in x. Okay. And so our y value would be the number of houses, which is 6. And our x value will be the number of hours he has worked, which is 4. So the slope will be 6 over 4, but we can reduce this to 3 halves. 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3, and 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. Okay, so 3 halves, or 3 over 2, is our slope. Therefore, we are going to use the equation y is equal to mx to represent the relationship, okay, where m represents our slope. So all you do is substitute m for 3 over 2 and keep the rest of the equation the same. So the equation is y is equal to 3 halves, or y is equal to 3 over 2x. Okay, from there, let's create a table. So we have our x values and our y values. X represents the number of hours he worked. So I'm just going to write hours. And Y represents the number of houses he built. So, or the number of houses he can build. So I'm just going to write houses. Okay. So they give us one X and Y relationship or values, which is 4 and 6. However, I'm going to start with 2 and go by 2s. Okay? And we know that the slope is 3 over 2. So our constant rate of change would be 3 over 2, or we would have to multiply by 3 over 2. I'm going to make it easy on myself because 3 over 2 is equal to 1.5. So I'm just going to multiply my x values by 1.5 in my calculator. Okay, so 2 times 1.5 is equal to 3. 4 times 1.5 is equal to 6. 6 times 1.5 is equal to 9. 8 times 1.5 is equal to 12. And 10 times 1.5 is equal to 15. All right, from there we can create a line using our order pairs from our table. Okay, so the first order pair will be 2, 3. So start at the origin. You're going to start at the origin and you're going to move 2 to the right and up 1, 2, 3 units. Okay. So plot 4, 6, start at the origin, move 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So plot 6, 9, start at the origin, move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. We can plot additional points on this line by finding our rise over run directions. So if our slope is 3 over 2, then 3 or positive 3 represents the change in y. We're going to move 3 up towards the positive numbers on the y-axis. And if 2 or positive 2 represents our change in x, we're going to move to the right towards the positive numbers on the x-axis. So our rise over run directions will be 3 up, 2 right. But if we want to go underneath our initial point, then we're going to go in the opposite direction. So instead of going 3 up, 2 right, we're going to go 3 down, 2 to the left. So from here, go 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2 to the left. 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2 to the left. Okay. Well, actually, we're going to get rid of this point because at that point we will be getting into negatives and we don't have negative time, or we can't build negative houses. So we're going to stop at the origin. Okay. In 0 hours, he will make 0 houses. Connect your dots using your straight edge or ruler. So now we have represented this relationship in 4 different ways. And this relationship is a proportional relationship. And we know this because number 1, this relationship represents a multiplicative relationship. right? We use the equation y is equal to mx. The line of the graph of this relationship is straight and goes through the origin, okay? So at this point, you're going to attempt to do some independent practice problems. You have 2 U-try problems today, and there are several parts to the problems. They are similar to the problem that we did for guided practice. And when you're done, you're going to go to Clever, log into Dreambox, and complete 2 Dreambox lessons. Okay? U-try answers will be displayed and discussed in tomorrow's lesson. That's all I have for today. You have a great day, and I'll see you in the next lesson.